Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us together this evening here at the Crime Prevention Gala. We have come together to share food, time, and appreciation through this event. Oh Lord, we are living in an era where violence is getting worse and crime rates are increased day by day. Our police officers have worked hard throughout this year to prevent crime, and the people who are dedicate themselves to our communities are gathered here with us. Oh Lord, please protect us from all kinds of crimes and encourage us to fight the injustice and evil that occurs around us. Please God, protect our police officers and their families who are exposed firsthand to this danger and threats, and ensure that their efforts are not in vain. May our communities be clean and peaceful thanks to their hard work and efforts. Please God, bless us and make this evening a time to continue our trusted and good relationship with each other and gain new joy, strength, and freshness. Thank you, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good evening, everyone. I know it's a Sunday evening time with family, but I really appreciate all of you attending our fourth annual gala. It's my honor to meet all of you here with such a great, distinguished people and elected officials, honorable judges, mayor, police officers, sheriff, and chief. This is great. And we have Gwinnett County Prosecutor's Office sitting over there. Let me introduce our board members to start with. 저희 보드 멤버들 다 앞으로 좀 나와주시면 감사하겠습니다. Standing here, you see Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention. They are the board members. Let me introduce from here. This is Mr. Nam Kwon Park, and this is Mr. Young Soo Kim, and this is Mr. Sean Park, and we have Dr. Tae Young Chu, and we have Mr. Young Pyo Son, and we have Joseph Shea, and we have Andy Wong, and they are the. I'd like to start with congratulatory messages that we have received. Some of them could not make it, so instead they send us a letter message or a video clip. But since we have a difficulty again, so I apologize, but I'm going to skip. Senator John Ossoff sent us a video message that we'd like to play, but we're going to, once technical problems fixed, then we're going to go ahead. And we also have a letter from Chris Carr. Can you?
My pleasure to welcome you all to the 4th Annual Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention Gala. At the Georgia Department of Law, we are working each day to protect the lives and livelihoods of our fellow Georgians. Recently, with the support of Governor Brian Kemp and members of the General Assembly, we created Georgia's first statewide gang prosecution unit, which officially began its historic work on July 1st. So far, we have obtained 13 indictments charging nearly 50 alleged gang members across the state. In 2019, we created the first of its kind human trafficking prosecution unit to rescue victims and prosecute those who buy and sell Georgia's children for sex. I am proud to say that our work is moving the needle significantly. In 2021 alone, we rescued and assisted 107 victims. That is 107 lives that will forever be changed. We are also fighting to combat the abuse, neglect, and exploitation of Georgia's older adults. Since November 2016, our Medicaid Fraud Division has prosecuted more than 60 people for Medicaid fraud and the abuse, neglect, and exploitation of older adults. In addition, we created the Georgia Consumer Protection Guide for older adults, a comprehensive guide that includes information on an array of topics of importance to seniors, like scams, identity theft, long-term care, elder abuse, and more. This guide is available in English, Spanish, and Korean at consumer.ga.gov. I want to thank the Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention for supporting our efforts and our local law enforcement. Your organization continues to do incredible work, and we applaud your efforts. Sincerely, Christopher M. Carr, Georgia Attorney General.
Next, we have received the congratulatory message from Commissioner John King. He's really apologetic that he could not make it today, but he has a previous schedule to attend. So here is his message.
The letter from John Carr says, "Thank you to Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention for your work to help keep our community safe. As a former police chief from the diverse city of Doraville, I understand how important the relationship is between local law enforcement and the communities they serve, particularly those with large immigrant and non-English speaking populations. By forming close partnerships between police officers and their communities, we can both bring down crime rates and avoid unnecessary confrontations between law enforcement and law-abiding citizens. Through events as simple as Coffee with a Cop, the GACP is helping to build long-lasting relationships, one citizen and one police officer at a time. I hope to see your organization grow and expand all across Georgia to help bring these proven results to every corner of our great state. As you celebrate the holidays and the end of an extremely productive year, I wish you nothing but the best in 2023 and beyond. Sincerely, John F. King."
And we have another congratulatory message from City of Doraville Mayor Joseph Gilman. Here it goes.
Mr. Gierman says, "Thank you to Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention for your work to help keep our community safe." Wait, sorry, we already read that. Director Lee, please accept my heartfelt appreciation for you and the work that Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention does to engage Asian community leaders, law enforcement, elected officials, and others in keeping our Metro Atlanta communities safe. Congratulations to the winners of your Award Gala Awards tonight for all of their hard work over the last year. Congratulations also to GBI Director Michael Register on his commitment to public safety. Sincerely, Joseph Gierman.
Thank you. This time, there's a message delivered from City of Duluth, and I'd like to invite Chief Karoth to come up and read Mayor's letter on behalf.
Okay, this is from our Mayor Nancy Harris, City of Duluth. Greetings, I am pleased to extend my warmest regards to the Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention. On behalf of the City of Duluth, I would like to congratulate you on your 4th annual award gala. Your nonprofit organization, GACP, has a wonderful goal of reducing and preventing crimes in our community, and we wish you luck in all of your endeavors. Community engagement is a valuable quality of Duluth, and GACP will certainly strengthen our abilities to raise awareness to the importance of crime prevention. I commend those who had a hand in organizing this ceremony and send my best wishes for a successful and enjoyable event. Sincerely, Mayor Nancy Harris.
President of Georgia Advocate for Crime Prevention, and Michael Register, GBI Director, and Keisha, Mrs. Keisha Register, welcome. And Vic Reynolds, Cop Superior Court Judge. Is he here? And the Georgia Advocate for Crime Prevention members, and other distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for the warm invitation to this meaningful occasion. What familiar faces. Some of us met around this time last year. Time flies. It is really good to see you again in this festive season. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to remind ourselves of the dedication and sacrifice law enforcement officers and their families have made. When you rest during holiday season, you are awake. To protect us, you always have to remain vigilant for your neighbors and communities. Thank you so much. I expected some clapping. Police officers, actually. I cannot help saying words of my gratitude to your spouses and sons and daughters and parents for their steadfast support. I do know that we cannot do anything without families' unwavering support and encouragement. As for me, I can't find myself in the morning without my wife, Sumi. She's here, actually. We have all the prominent people who are cornerstone of Georgia legal system. I am grateful to see you for the tireless endeavors to maintain law and order as well as fairness of the society. Ladies and gentlemen, it is said to take ability to protect citizens from crimes. Tonight, we have statesmen, judges, prosecutors, bankers, policemen, sheriffs, civil servants, civic leaders, businessmen. In that regard, this gathering signifies not just the commitment that we have made, but also common effort we are going to render. When we look beyond the borders to the international arena, freedom and prosperity grows on the soil of security and peace. Korea is the testament of what security provided by our ironclad alliance paved the way for prosperous democratic society. Speaking of each domestic society, freedom, human rights, and economic prosperity cannot be realized without safety and the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more than 250,000 Americans of Korean heritage in the Southeast United States, including 150,000 in Georgia. And there is continuous influx of Koreans and Korean Americans into Georgia from other regions in the United States and also from Korea. Do you know that? And I call the state of Georgia the land of opportunity within the land of opportunity. I coined this phrase, and you can use on the condition that it should be ascribed to me, okay? State of government of Georgia and the people of Georgia has made business-friendly environment. The core element of this environment has been provided by you, related people and also law enforcement officers. Thank you so much. And I'm really happy to see some officers and some judges and also the FBI directors have their family here in this 1818 club. Thank you. I wish all the best to you. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
자, 여기 보세요. 자, 하나, 둘, 셋. 하나, 둘, 셋. 네.
We have John Bradbury from City of Johns Creek, Mayor. He's a good friend of mine, and always supportive, and I appreciate what you do.
Well, for a minute there, I thought that they were going to do John Ossoff. But that's me. That's me. Maybe 5 or 10 pounds ago. It is great to be with Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention. I want to thank Clayton and the board for putting on this annual event and just for all of your efforts. You know, as we think about crime prevention in general, I think all of us recognize that we are facing a more difficult environment than maybe we did just 3 or 4 years ago. I know that for the police officers and the police chiefs, that they certainly recognize that. But, you know, I just think that everything that we can do to reinforce discipline in the classroom and the rule of law on the streets is vitally important. Now, I'm incredibly fortunate to be the mayor of Johns Creek. According to SafeWise.com, we are the safest city in the United States to raise a family. But we would not be able to do that without the outstanding professional law enforcement team that we have in Johns Creek. And I don't know if we have our own table over here, actually. Could y'all stand up just for a second? So these are Johns Creek representatives. And would I be going out of turn if I said, where are the other law enforcement officers? Could you stand up as well? Thank you for your service. Thank you to your families that allow you to go out and do what you do. You know, I know that in Johns Creek we feel like that our officers are basically on loan to us on a regular basis from their families, and our duty is basically just to make sure that they get home safe. But let me just say this, as we talk about the violence, but specifically violence that's purposely directed at our police officers. I don't know about you, but I look at that as an attack on our civil society. It is not acceptable. We have got to remain vigilant against that and make sure that this idea that the police and law enforcement is an acceptable scapegoat for any of the various social issues or social causes, not acceptable. And so I think that that has got to be a foundational stance of not just Georgia Advocates, but all of us in our different cities and communities. So anyway, it's an honor to be here and be a part of this. And again, thank you for allowing me to be here to be with you.
I'd like to give you appreciation for what you do.
Thank you.
For Asian communities in Johns Creek. I want you to continue to do it.
Thank you. And I do have one other little announcement. I promised Steve that I had a little piece of news. So in January, we will have our first Lunar New Year celebration. And I want to make sure that all of you come out for it. I hate to say it's either January 21st or the 24th. Can you let them all know?
Sure.
But it's going to be at Newtown Park. And that's just another example of what we're doing to further embrace all parts of our community. And I know that our police chief and his department have done an outstanding job of reaching out to the community and just making sure that we're partners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep hold.
Okay, next, Miss Patsy Austin, are you? Oh, she just got here. Thank you so much. Okay. Come on up here. I know. Yes, ma'am. As you know, Ms. Patsy Austin Gatson, she's the district attorney at Gwinnett County Judicial Division, and she's also great to our Asian community, supporter of trying to reduce crimes and teach us, what needs to be done as crime prevention activities. And so, here it goes.
Thank you so much, Clayton. I appreciate and it's an honor to be here this evening. I just want to say that we are working hard in Gwinnett County. We will continue to work hard in bringing justice to our community. I want to stand here right now and give condolences to Scott Reiner, the correctional officer that was assassinated recently in Gwinnett County. And I want to give thanks to Gwinnett County PD for bringing the alleged suspect into custody. And I want to thank y'all for that. But Gwinnett County PD, please stand. And one thing I can say, we have a top-notch criminal justice system here in Gwinnett County. We have great judges, and Judge Kaysen is here, and we have great legislators. And what I love about our community, I mean, if you just look around this room, it's diverse. This is who we are, and this is what we reflect. So I'm so happy about that is what we do. And I've said it, and I'll say it again, Gwinnett County will teach the rest of the country how a diverse community gets it right. And we are getting it right each and every day. Just gatherings like this, people like Clayton, and the collaboration that we have in this county is beyond none. Gwinnett County will remain the standard of excellence that we have here. We're working hard toward that. And this time of year is a good time to give thanks. I give thanks for the tremendous team that I work with every day. Great ADAs, great legals, great investigators. Are there any of my investigators here in the room? I know they came in with us, but this is what we do, and we take it as our pride to serve this community. Because I'm a servant of this community. I've been the DA here for 2 years, and I've learned a lot, and I will continue to learn. And we just ask for your support. We have done certain things in this county that has never been done before. We recently graduated a group of young people, it was 18 young people, that were having their first brush with the law. And what we did was say, look, you do deserve a second chance, but don't take it lightly. And we graduated those 18 young people, and I tell you, they gave remarks that would make you think they were studying for PhDs. So I'm telling you, we have a great group of people here in Gwinnett County. We have a lot of talent. I tell young people every time I see them, y'all are the future. And as this room can attest to, we have a lot of work to do. As you see on the news every night, you would always think it's something bad happening, but guess what? We have more good happening in this county than we do bad. And we have to give these young people hope and let them know they have a future and let them know that we love them. And I'm not playing with y'all because I tell them that. I tell these young people when I go talk to them, I said, I love y'all. And it may sound strange to have a stranger telling you that they love you, but I love y'all. And we have to give more and more and more of that. I heard a young lady say last night that no one can whistle a symphony. You gotta have an orchestra. And thank you all tonight for being that orchestra.
Appreciation plaque for you, so just why don't you stand in front? Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay. Here.
Next in line, Tracy Kaysen, are you ready? Please come up in front and give us some gracious opening remarks.
Well, good evening, everyone, and Clayton, thank you so much for having me. Clayton and I have known each other for a long time, and I'm just so excited and proud for the work that he's doing to make sure that our community is safe and that our community knows the resources they have available to them. For those of you that don't know me, before I was elected to the bench in 2018, I was a prosecutor for 21 years, so my whole career has been about protecting the community in which I live. And I tell you, anything I can do to make less work for me is going to be a good thing. And I think Judge Kirk would say the same thing, and Patsy would say the same thing. We have enough to do. If we can prevent crime from happening, then that is a good thing. Clayton and I work together to try to make sure we educate the community as to some specific cultural things that this community is vulnerable to, and to try to educate them to make sure they understand the protections that they have available to them to avoid being victimized, but then if they are victimized, the resources they have in order to seek and to receive justice. And that's the real goal. Unfortunately, our community within this last week, our law enforcement community and our legal community has suffered two just great, devastating tragedies. And as our Madam DA said, with Officer Reiner being assassinated, and we had a lawyer in our community that was the same thing. It was just pure violent assassination. And these were two individuals that their careers were dedicated to creating peace and to making sure that disputes were resolved peacefully. And all they were doing their jobs, protecting each of us every day, and they lost their lives. If we can make sure that we are preventing that disruption of peace, that we are educating, and that we are forging those relationships that many of us have talked about this evening, then we can perhaps prevent some of that from happening. It's law enforcement. Every day you go out on the streets, unfortunately, you don't know if you're going to make it home. Your families don't know if you're going to make it home. And I can't even imagine the weight that you carry on your shoulders and that your family carries on your shoulders. So anything that we can do to support you, anything we can do to kind of lessen your burden and to make sure that other folks are staying vigilant and maybe just reduce your work a little bit. Anything that we can do is one step in the right direction. I'm just so honored and just privileged to be a part of this organization. I applaud Clayton and his board for taking the steps to reach out. We do have it great here in Gwinnett. We can be greater, but we can also show the world, as our Madam DA said, that we are getting it right in Gwinnett, and we can teach the rest of the world how it works. And I'm just so honored and appreciative to be just a very small part of that. Thank you so much.
And here's our small talker.
Okay. One more.
Matt Reeves is elected Georgia State Representative, District 99. I'm so proud that you got elected. Hopefully we can do some damages. But I want you to read the Sue Holmes letter first.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll do some damage to those folks who are doing crime in Gwinnett. How about that? I'm proud to read Sue Hong's letter. Sue and I are in adjacent districts. Sue says, thank you to the Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention and Mr. Clayton Lee and others on the board for the hard work you're doing for our community. As we see crime increasing in our cities, the work of this organization to prevent crime in our community has become more meaningful, growing a healthy relationship between the Asian communities and law enforcement, and knowing and showing this relationship within our community creates more sense of safety within our community. Knowledge is power, and this organization, GACP, continues to educate our community in preventing crime and keeping our community safe. Working together to create a safe community will show strength and also promotes continued growth of small businesses in our community. I regret not being there tonight, but I am fully dedicated to the mission of GACP and hope to be a good resource as your representative-elect in Gwinnett County. My door is always open, so please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you, Sue Hong. And Sue stole my thunder to a large extent, so I won't be repetitive, but let me say, Clayton Lee and leadership at GACP, thank you for what you're doing. And also law enforcement, thank you for what you're doing. We have a very cold Christmas Eve and Christmas forecasted, And you all are going to be out there on the streets with domestic violence situations, with administering Narcan, with, getting calls. Crime doesn't stop even on Christmas and Christmas Eve. And so as we are home on Christmas and Christmas Eve, just remember there are members of law enforcement who are out there just like they are the other 365 days a year. I represent Duluth and Suwannee and Sugar Hill, or I'm going to represent them starting January 9th down at the Georgia House. And to steal a good phrase from our Consul General, I represent the land of opportunity and the land of opportunity and the land of opportunity. Within Georgia, an area that our Asian community, our Korean community has prospered is Duluth, is Suwannee, Peachtree Industrial, Gwinnett County, and I'm proud to serve the community. You think about why you came to Gwinnett County and why the other million people came to Gwinnett County. It's because of our good schools, our good neighborhoods, our jobs, and our law enforcement is there keeping it that way, keeping our schools safe and our neighborhoods safe. And I really applaud this organization for supporting our law enforcement and the important work they do. So with that, let me say I've been coming here to the 1818 Club for 20 years. I've worked down the street from here. This is probably the biggest sit-down dinner I've seen. Normally these walls are divided up, and this is really great to be here right at Christmas and New Year, celebrate our law enforcement, and to join together and let them know after 2020, which was a terrible year in the way of disrespecting law enforcement and being ungrateful and hostile to law enforcement, that here we are in 2022 saying thank you, we appreciate you, and we support you headed in the new year. So Merry Christmas, law enforcement, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year 2023. Let's make it a great year together, and thank you for this organization for what you're doing in supporting these men and women. Thank you.
Everybody knows you, right?
I hope so.
Who doesn't know who Dr. McCoy gets? Who doesn't know? Raise your hands. This gentleman is almost a Superman. He is ex-Marine, decorated helicopter pilot, served in U.S. Navy, and he's emergency medical doctor. Now he's going to serve our greatest country in the world as a congressman. How about that?
I will make this real quick to try to get us back on schedule. So I'm going to tell you my life story. And it starts being the son in Las Vegas, being the son of a deputy sheriff. And so I have great appreciation for our law enforcement. In the Marine Corps, I spent several tours over in Korea, serving with the ROK Marines. And I will tell you, the one experience I had with law enforcement over there is when somebody tried to steal our MREs from over the fence. We subdued them, brought the law enforcement personnel to our base, and they literally beat the people mercilessly, and so we decided that probably wasn't a good idea for the future. But I can understand why Koreans come over here and obey laws. It makes sense to me entirely, and I will tell you that you guys are the best of us. We appreciate our strong immigration from Korea, amazing citizens. As an ER doctor, I was on ER at Duluth last night, and I have 7 nights coming up during Christmas vacation, so take it easy. But I will tell you, the people I don't see in ER because they commit crimes, or because they're doing drugs, or because they're anxious and depressed or unsuccessful is the Korean community. You guys do it right. You follow laws, you produce, you pay your taxes, you're ideal citizens, and you support our law enforcement. Thank you. Or should I say, kamsahamnida. Peace. And to our law enforcement, thank you. Thank you for continually walking the wall at the middle of the night when everybody else is resting in their beds. Thank you for putting yourself in harm's way. Thank you, and God bless you. I pray for you every single day. God bless you all.
let me invite Mrs. McCormick. She's also a doctor, oncologist, right? So every time I see Dr. McCormick in an event, he always accompanies his wife. So just wanted to make sure that you guys are being recognized. So here's an appreciation plaque.
Okay, can you get here? Here.
You're good, you're good. How about a round of applause to Clayton? He's done a great job. Whatever you all have to say, great guy. But, good evening, I'm Representative Pedro Marin. I represent the 96th District, which is part of the cities of Duluth and Norcross. And I'm a 20-year member of the House of Representatives. I just got elected in November for my 11th term. So looking forward to being with Matt, Sue Han, and so many freshmen that we have. Last night we were at Judge Kaysen and I, and DA Gaston, we were at the Muslim, Voices for Muslim. And they had about 400 people in that event. Again, trying to energize our community. This is important. One plug that I want to do for law enforcement, and thank you for your service, is that there's Citizens Academy for police departments. So if y'all haven't done the police academy for the citizens, for the police, I encourage you to do it. I did Gwinnett County in 1999. I became the first Latino that went through that academy, even before I got elected. Because why? I wanted to see and help and understand and be in the law enforcement shoes, what they go through every day. So from that one, 1999, I did Norcross, and I done Duluth also as well. So cities I represent. So this is a little plug. And again, Clayton, and in fact, I'm not reading because it's going to take more than a couple minutes that I'm going to take. But I want to wish well Clayton, Joseph Chow. Where's you at, Joseph? He's still here, right here. Good friend of mine. Flying Biscuit, great place to go. But I want to make sure that I recognize your board. It's important. And not just the board. See the list of the sponsors. I think those are the people that really goes behind what GACP is doing. And the mission that you guys are doing. And you're doing a great thing. You know, crime. Nobody likes crime. Nobody wants to have crime in their neighborhood. And again, as future congressman was mentioning, you know, you have to really acknowledge the hard work that law enforcement do every day, because you know they're keeping us safe. That's the front line, really the front line of our neighborhoods. So again, I want to wish you all very Merry Christmas. I'm a Merry Christmas type of guy. But again, happy holidays, be safe. Please go and visit some of those sponsors, because we need to support, you know, they're putting their money into an organization that is helping our community. So again, I encourage you guys to go and visit. Again, with that, I wish you all happy holidays. Thank you very much.
For a small token of appreciation for what you do. So here is a plan.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Come on, stand up.
Yes. Ladies in the middle. It's like I say, the rose were the fungus.
Okay, here.
Good evening, Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention. This is Senator John Ossoff. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all the law enforcement personnel present, every officer, deputy, and law enforcement leader in attendance and across the state. Thank you for all that you do to keep our communities safe, to ensure public safety, and to protect Georgians from crime and criminal activity. It's deeply appreciated, and I will continue to fight for public safety in the state of Georgia, just as my legislation to fund law enforcement and mental health programs passed the U.S. Congress this year. And I'll continue working to deliver resources to our state to keep communities safe and promote public safety. It is my pleasure and my honor to represent you whenever and however I can be of service. just reach out at ossoff.senate.gov. God bless and happy holidays.
Before you start the keynote speak, Governor Brian Kemp couldn't make it today. We really worked hard trying to get him here today as a main keynote speaker, but unfortunately his schedule conflicts, he could not make it, but he sent us a letter message. So would you read that for us and start your keynote speak?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Greetings. It is my honor to once again extend my warmest regards as you gather for this year's Georgia Advocates for Crime Prevention Annual Award and Lecture Gala. This event is an important opportunity to bring together law enforcement, their supporters, and the community to build relationships and learn new ways to ensure the safety and security of Georgians all across our state. I want to thank those whose efforts have made this event possible. I extend my gratitude for your commitment to supporting the brave men and women who keep us safe and providing them the resources they need. I also want to recognize and thank the law enforcement officers and officials here who go to work every day to make a safer, stronger Georgia a reality. It is because of their service and sacrifice that we are able to thrive as the best state in the nation to live, work, and raise as a family. On behalf of the state of Georgia, I send my best wishes for a wonderful event. I hope you leave here with renewed energy to stand alongside Georgia's law enforcement and support them in their mission and protect our communities. Sincerely, Governor Brian P. Kemp. You know, I was a little afraid when he asked me to read that. I left my glasses, and I was struggling. Well, hey, it's an honor to be here tonight to say a few words, and yes, I am that guy standing between you and dinner, so I'll be brief. That's a bad position to be in. But again, it's an honor to be here to, I see my fellow public safety partners, community partners, elected officials. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. You know, the Korean community, my first exposure to the Korean culture was when I was 13 years old. Seems like 100 years ago. Wait a minute, it was 100 years ago. But when I was 13, what I wanted for my birthday was martial arts lessons. And so I went to Grandmaster Chung's martial arts, Taekwondo, Shaolin, Hapkido school. And you know, 50 years later, here I am, and me and Grandmaster Chung still have a relationship. He actually lives in Gwinnett County. And, you know, through the years, as I trained with him, I got my black belt when I was 16, but through the years when I trained with him, I often wondered, am I learning anything or just getting beat up, right? Probably a little bit of both. But let me tell you a little bit about the GBI. GBI is made up of 4 divisions. We have an investigative division, we have a legal division, we have a forensic science division, and also GCIC comes under the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. We stay very busy, and we have some specialty units also, like the Georgia Gang Task Force, our Financial Investigative Unit, and also Georgia Fusion Center, GSAC, is the Georgia Information Sharing Analysis Center, comes under the GBI. And as I stated, we stay very busy, and let's look at 2021. In 2021, our investigative division did over 7,000 investigations in 2021. It's extraordinary, and I didn't know this, but I know now, GBI will investigate anything. They'll investigate anything from Mrs. Jones' lawnmower being stolen to murders. But we really do appreciate the partnership we have with our local, state, and federal partners, all the great sheriffs and all the great chiefs throughout the state of Georgia, and I see a few of them in here tonight. We really do appreciate that partnership. You know, when we look at the GBI and some of the other things we do, I told you over 7,000 investigations, But also in 2021, we did about 5,000 autopsies because the Georgia Medical Examiner's Office comes under the GBI. Also, our forensics department or division, on the average, it gets somewhere around 110 to 112,000 requests per year. So we stay quite busy over there, and also our agency responds to most of the officer-involved shootings to do an investigation for our local partners, and as of tonight, we're at 109 officer-involved shootings throughout the state. And we try to do the best job that we possibly can for our partners. On the average, that's about 200 hours of investigative time. Some of the investigations on the officer-involved shootings are a little more complex. But the GBI is just like any other law enforcement agency throughout the state. You know, we try to meet the demands of the day while planning for tomorrow. Because what we're confronting today, when I say we, law enforcement, you know, not only do we have to have the resources and the capabilities to do that today, but we have to also look as leaders to what is going to be the environment that we're going to have to operate in 3 to 5 years down the road, and so we can start planning for that now. We see some things that certainly we're knowing that we're going to have to address: the continuing sophistication of crime, extremist activities. We're dealing with that right now. I see Chief Shearbaum in the room, and he and I, his agency, my agency, we're dealing that currently with what's happening over at the future Atlanta Police Training Center. A lot of people believe that we have young people over there that are environmentalists. We have people over there that are domestic terrorists. We've had everything from community members attacked physically. We've had cars burned. We've had Molotov cocktails thrown at our officers there. And when our officers go over there to do certain things, not just operations, but certain things have to happen for the center to be built. And we have workers coming in to do that preparation, but this is what we're finding. We're finding that there's booby traps, like boards with nails sticking through them up so people will step on them. We've made several arrests, assault weapons, binary explosives. So we are continuing to deal with that, and hopefully we'll bring that to a closure soon. And also, another thing that we are seeing is technology-based crime, or cybercrime. In Georgia alone, cybercrime last year increased about 43%. So that is going to be another effort that we're going to have to expand in at the GBI. When we talk about crime in Georgia, I call it the criminal trifecta: guns, games, and drugs. When we talk about the guns, currently we are trying to solicit our legislative body this session to have an increased penalty if a person uses a ghost gun in the commission of a felony. A ghost gun is a weapon that's manufactured, or weapon parts that are manufactured illegally. And if a person utilizes a ghost gun in the commission of a crime, there's going to be an additional penalty for that. You know, I was reading a report last month, LAPD, and their recovered weapons, they're seeing about a 30%, about 30% of their recovered weapons are classified as ghost guns. So we are trying to address that. The gangs, you know, when you look at the gangs throughout Georgia and the violence that comes with the gangs, you see a tremendous problem for every community. 159 counties in Georgia, and I can assure you that all 159 of the counties have some type of gang activity, you know, within that county. Between January and September of this year, the GBI has opened up 274 gang investigated cases. And when you look at our Department of Corrections, currently the population is slowly ticking back up. It's right around 49,000 people that are incarcerated in our state system in Georgia, but out of the 49,000, about a third of the 49,000 is validated gang members. And when we talk about recidivism, individuals getting out, in a 3-month period alone, 900 gang members were released from our state correctional facilities. And when you look at the 900 and we try to keep track of that and we break them down, about 50% of them came from 3 of the major gangs, the Gangster Disciples, the Ghostface Gangsters, and also subsets of the Bloods. And also, we talked to, well, several of you tonight have talked about the violence against law enforcement officers. When we go back to 2016 and we look at law enforcement officers that have lost their life in the state of Georgia from a felonious act, we find that about a third of the individuals that were the perpetrators had gang affiliation. And then we talk about drugs. You know, the third component of that trifecta. We see an increase in fentanyl. In 2020 and 2021, our seizures of fentanyl went up about 600%. The overdose deaths from fentanyl in 2021 alone increased about 215%. And when you look at the 5,000 autopsies that we have, well, on the average per year at the GBI, we see about a third of them are drug related. In 2021, we had almost 1,900 drug related deaths from overdoses. But we continue to work with our state, our local partners, our federal partners to try to make Georgia a safer place. One thing that we're all having to acknowledge is getting people who want to come to this profession. It's an honorable profession, but it seems that it's just not cool to be a police officer anymore. And the negative message that gets out is really impacting our ability to recruit. And I think what's happened, the sins of a few have vilified the whole. And it takes good people like you in that partnership that we see here tonight for us to work together to try to make Georgia a safer place, but also every department in the room here, I grant you, they have a huge community outreach program. Each department. And part of that community outreach program is to contact these young people. And, you know, one thing that we ask when we interview, you know, why do you want to come here? Why do you want to get into law enforcement? And they all say, most of them say, I want to make a difference. And I think that that is a major theme with young people today. They want to make a difference. What better place to make a difference than to come and get into public safety? Because I can assure you, and the others in public safety and the court system and anybody in public safety will tell you that on a daily basis you can certainly do that. And I know in my career in law enforcement, I've had the opportunity to hopefully impact people's lives. And the partnership that, you know, we see here tonight is something that, you know, we need. It strengthens us as a community. We can't do it alone. Law enforcement can't arrest our way out of some of the issues that we're seeing. The court system can't incarcerate and solve some of the woes that we see in society. It really takes a village. It takes everyone in here to work to try to prevent these things from happening, and then when they do happen, work together to find, solutions to the problems. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight. I appreciate what you do for your community, for what you do for your police department, the elected officials. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to stand up and raise your hand and say, hey, I want to be an elected official in today's world. But we couldn't do it without you. And I know we've talked about our law enforcement, and we had a moment of silence. And just last night, Keisha and I were at a Cobb County event, and of course, I had an opportunity to talk to one of the wives of the 2 deputies that were killed in September of this year. And she said something that really hit me. She said, hey, this will be the first Thanksgiving and first Christmas without my husband. And she said, but you know what? I'm not alone. Every law enforcement officer, public safety official that's given their life this year, this is going to be the first holiday season without that loved one. And that kind of struck me. But I also want us to remember too, on this holiday season, not only our public safety personnel, but let's also remember our armed forces, the military men and women who are somewhere fighting for this freedom and standing guard over this great country of ours. And with that, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great, prosperous new year. It was an honor to be here tonight, and hopefully I didn't talk too long because it's time to eat.
Okay, I'm gonna take a 3 times. 1, 2, one more.
All right, I'm Hayonim. I'm professor at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and also I teach in criminal justice department. I'm also the president of the Korean Society of Criminology in America, so I'm really honored to serve as a lecturer today. So last year, I also provided a lecture about anti-Asian hate crime and racism in the United States. So tonight, I would like to do some follow-up lecture on the anti-Asian hate crime and also future direction in the era of digital society, how we can prepare for it. So last year, May 2021, actually the COVID-19 hate crime act passed. So I summarized some of the important statements which I'm very interested in, because one of the things is DOJ will have a designated person who review hate crime data. And also DOJ require that the nation collect the hate crime data, because until the last year, even the FBI collect the hate crime data, there was not enough. The information I got, how can you report the case? So here, when I click the report, this is what you could see, right? It says submit the AP to the FBI online, right? So if we click it, you can see that this one is my little issue on this page was they call it like a electronic tip form. Do you guys have any idea what the electronic tip form means?
We will select 2 gentlemen here. I think you should introduce yourself. All right? What's your claim?
Hi, my name is Mason Robinson. I'm a sophomore studying at Savannah State University. I study electrical engineering. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Quincy Benjamin, and I am currently a senior at Mountview High School, and I have no idea yet of what I'm going to major, but I'm sure to know eventually, and yeah, thank you.
Mason Robertson, here's your scholarship certificate and a check for $1,000. I wish you the best. This is the president of Georgia Atlanta Beauty Supplies Association, who's graciously donating the scholarship funds to this organization, Mr. Kang Lee. So remember him, okay? Thank you. And we have another person, Benjamin. Okay, Quincy Benjamin. Okay. It's another $1,000 scholarship. Wish you the best. And
Major Lonzie Robertson, South Precinct Commander of the DeKalb County Police Department. On behalf of DEO Michael Thurman, our Public Safety Director Jack Lumpkin, and our Chief Mirtha Ramos, who couldn't be here tonight unfortunately, I want to say thank you to GACP for all that you do, your support of law enforcement. I want to say I appreciate all the officers here today. I know how hard our job is. Continue the hard fight, and we're going to win it one day. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Chief Deputy of the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. I represent today over 500 men and women in the Sheriff Melanie Maddox, and we're just excited to be here today and to be receiving this award as well as recognizing a scholarship recipient. Thank you so much.
$1,000 scholarship to the Liza Freeman. Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Leslie Freeman. I'm a senior at New Manchester, and I would like to go to Savannah State. I want to thank you for this.